Subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon to never miss an update from Kautilya's Fincast.
Kautilya presents Fincast for 1st of March 2021 to 10th of March 2021.
Let's begin with corporate news.
Serum Institute, Bharat Biotech, Dr. Reddy's Labs, Abbott India, Patanjali, and All India Medical Sciences were some of the Indian pharma companies and hospitals allegedly targeted by hacker groups. The RBI's statement in a monthly update that the domestic economic activity is gaining a steam as COVID-19 incidence recedes, and the ongoing vaccine rollouts release pent-up optimism. Uber will co-lead in the new delivery startup, Serve Robotics, which will bring food, groceries, and other items to Uber customers without human intervention. Reliance Jio bought radio airwaves worth 57,122.65 crore in the first spectrum auction in more than 4 years. Spectrum in the 700 MHz band went unsold because of the high base price. The representative body of the auto component manufacturers said that it will dent the image of the state as a hub of automobile production. The search giant will start testing user targeting based on their interest and browsing behavior, ensuring not only user privacy, but also showing relevant advertisements. The company is also reviewing its current roles, policy framework, and infrastructure to enable people with disabilities to be a larger part of the organization. Tech Mahindra will integrate ThoughtSpot's search and AI-driven analytics platform with its virtual analyst platform to drive multi-level data analysis and empower users with real-time insights to make informed business decisions. In France, internet companies with more than 750 million euros in worldwide sales and 25 million in France must pay a 3% tax on their French operations, notably advertising sales and marketplace operations. Titan has been expanding its offerings under smartwatches and other wearable devices, as consumers in India increasingly swap regular timepieces with those that are functional and work across various technology platforms. The 360-degree campaign has been conceptualized and executed by Taproot Dentsu and Dentsu Web Chutney, and will go live in multiple languages across TV, digital, print, radio, and outdoor. The Chinese hacking group, which Microsoft calls Hafnium, appears to have been breaking into private and government computer networks through the company's popular exchange email software for several months. Internet giant Google Incorporation said it will support 1 million rural women entrepreneurs in India to help them pursue their ambitions and improve their livelihoods, with a grant to train 1 lakh women agri workers on digital and financial literacy. Huawei's decline in the market started in August 2020. The telecom giant has shifted its focus to premium devices so that it can sell phones with higher margins to make the most of its depleting inventory of components. Caller ID application. Truecaller has suspended its services on the Unified Payments Interface to focus on core offerings such as communication and safety. E-commerce major Amazon India said that it has scaled its food delivery service, Amazon Food, to 62 PIN codes across Bengaluru, with over 2,500 restaurants and cloud kitchens now serving customers on its platform. Shares of the Elon Musk-led company jumped as much as 20% on Tuesday, erasing most of the decline in the previous 5 sessions. Paytm said it is applying for new umbrella entity in a consortium with players including ride-hailing platform Ola, as part of its efforts to develop more innovative and inclusive digital payments solutions for the Indian population. US tech giant Apple planned to invest more than 1 billion euros in Germany and open Europe's biggest research facility on mobile wireless semiconductors and software. With this, Indospace, which is backed by Everstone Group, Dilpi, and Realterm, has expanded its footprint in Delhi National Capital Region to over 480 acres across 8 industrial parks.
Let's begin with market news.
Singapore-based investment company, Integrated Core Strategies Private Limited, sold 37 million shares of Bharti Airtel Limited for 2,062 crore. Through an open market transaction, the Reserve Bank of India bought $10.01 billion, while it sold $6.02 billion in December. From the spot foreign exchange market, government to sell stake in IRCONY offer for sale. The base issue size is 10% or over 4.70 crore equity shares, with a greenshoe option to retain oversubscription of 6%. Wall Street's major averages dipped after a strong start to March, as investors closely monitored the bond market, as well as progress on the next round of fiscal stimulus. India's top cryptocurrency exchange nearly doubled its trading volumes, despite fears of a government-imposed ban on crypto assets. HDFC Limited will raise up to 5,000 crore by issuing non-convertible debentures. The coupon rate on the bonds, set to mature on March 8, 2023, is fixed at 5.30% per annum. Markets regulator SEBI cancelled the certificate of registration of Sahara India Financial Corporation Limited as a sub-broker, citing its failure to fulfill the fit and proper criteria. Japanese yen hit a 7-month low on the dollar, as hopes that vaccine distribution and more government stimulus will drive the US economy into a solid rebound lifted greenback and benchmark treasury yields. Mindspace Business Parks right plans to issue debt securities, aggregating up to 450 rupees cause, by way of the private placement. Ultratech Cement crossed 2 trillion rupees in market capitalization, with the stock has rallied 14%, led by a recovery in demand and reports of price hikes in the company's key markets. India's top debt arranger expects borrowers to raise more loans this year, and rely less on the rupee bond market, where yields have spiked after record sales in 2020. Mutual funds, including their passive investment schemes like index funds, exchange-traded funds, will be required to cast votes compulsorily in respect of related party transactions of the investee companies and corporate governance matters. Utkarsh Small Finance Bank has filed draft share sale documents with SEBI to raise 1,350 crore through an IPO. Comprises a fresh issue of up to 750 crore and an offer for sale up to 600 crore. If capital flows into US exchange-traded funds are any indication, investors have begun to favor emerging market stocks over almost every other asset class, including US equities. The cryptocurrency industry in India is relieved at Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's comments that the government will take a calibrated approach to crypto trading in the country. Flipkart is exploring going public in the US through a merger with a blank check company. Flipkart's advisors have approached several special purpose acquisition companies, or SPACs, intending to quicken its listing process. Hostinger has only been offering its services to the Indian market since 2018, but has an impressive league of 150,000 plus clients and a growth percentage of about 30% per year. Healthy buying in financials and insurance companies fueled up move in India's benchmark equity indices. Two stock markets ended on a positive note, as FIIs pumped 2,801.87 crore in the Indian markets. Vodafone Group would seek to raise up to 2.8 billion euros in proceeds by floating infrastructure unit Vantage Towers in Europe's largest IPO of 2021. Borrowings costs of states are inching up after a small dip seen last week, with the yields on their bonds crossing the 7% mark again.
Let's begin with economy news.
Possibly the most influential development across the globe, especially for the Indian stock markets, was that the sharp spike in the yields that one earns from United States government bonds. A comprehensive nationwide lockdown beginning March 25, which lasted for 68 days, was among the most stringent in the world, and virtually brought all non-essential economic activities to a halt. The eminent economist described the government's decision to privatize the two public sector banks next fiscal as an unprecedented effort to finally right a wrong done 50 years ago. In terms of the nominal GDP, 96% of pre-pandemic economic activity has been restored, assuming that the National Statistical Office's first advance estimates hold. This points to a recovery based on a revival of consumption is underway. India had in April last year amended the FDI policies and made prior government nod mandatory for FDI from countries sharing land borders, a measure that was largely seen in Chinese investments. The Indian economy backed for nearly 4 decades, including license permit Raj, small-scale industries reservations, and heavy presence of the public sector, was either a byproduct of this goal or sideshow. The 4 labor codes are facing some turbulence, with states still to frame rules, leaving the center in limbo about whether it should notify rules in areas under its ambit. Hong Kong was dethroned by Singapore's annual Heritage Foundation ranking of the world's freest economies, predicted the city would soon return to the spot it had held for 25 straight years. Industry and services sectors are expected to show a negative growth of 11.3% and 9% respectively. The agriculture and allied activities sector is expected to grow at 11.7%. The Indian economy is doing better than the projection of an 8% shrinkage in the current fiscal, as economic activity gathers pace with mild stiffening of pandemic curve and the rollout of vaccines. The Indian economy is on the road to recovery. The government is celebrating the NSO estimate of 0.4% growth in third quarters, having statistical errors. 0.4% could mean 0% or 0.8%. The Department of Economic Affairs in the monthly report said, recoveries of global output have slowed, following the reimposition of lockdowns in advanced countries. Amid renewed COVID-19 waves and their emerging variants, India's LFPR was about 50.2% according to the data and statistical reports from the Periodic Labour Force Survey 2018-19. The pandemic further pushed people out of work in all jobs. The CAG had pointed out multi-layered irregularities during the UPA government. The reports became crucial in blighting the government's image, which the BJP used widely to come to power in 2014. India's economy grew a mere 4.9%. The lowest annual increase in more than 6 years. It was predicted that 2020 will see a 7.4% GDP contraction due to the coronavirus. Between November 2019 and November 2020, the urban Indian female workforce contracted by 27% compared to 3% for men. Women had to suddenly become teachers as well as parents, homemakers and caregivers, while exports are recovering well for large industries, and agriculture and allied sectors remain weak for labor-intensive, small enterprise-driven segments, such as gems and jewelry, garments, and leather products. Given the limitations of monetary policy, a fiscal push is crucial for sustained growth recoveries. That the Indian economy has managed to exit technical recession to grow at 0.4%. The Ministry of Railways has cleared the new land licensing fee policy for the Indian Railways, which will bring down the land lease rates for use of railway land for industrial purposes to less than 3%. India will levy a customs duty of 40% on solar modules and 25% on solar cells from April 2022, as it looks to cut imports and boost local manufacturing.